Welcome back, guys. If you are new to Arrowhead and you are not familiar with it, make sure to check out the first part of our series. In this video, I will demonstrate how the management tool works via showcase scenario. I will create a simple control loop with two temperature sensors. One is a backup sensor, there is an actuator and a controller. The controller reports to a dashboard in a public cloud. There are three services defined: a temperature service, a control service, and a report service. We have four systems in our local cloud: temperature 1, temperature 2, controller, and actuator. Finally, we have another local cloud which has a dashboard service defined. The management tool connects to the backend, which writes into the corresponding databases. First, we have to create a new service registry entry for the temperature 1 sensor, so I will click the add button, and here we see a dialog where we have to provide the system details. Our system name will be temperature 1. Our address will be a local address, so I will just type in, and let's give it a port. Leave authentication info empty because it's not a secure sensor. Now our service definition is temperature service, so it will be just temperature. Our interface will be http://insecure-senml. Let's hit enter to save it. Its service URI will be temperature, and let's give it an end of validity, and the service version of 1, and let's click the add button. Okay, we can see the savings was successful, and we see that a new entry has appeared in our service registry, which says that oh, I made a typo. So yeah, I made a typo in both entries, so I will just click the edit button and I will correct my mistake, so it will be temperature 1 and temperature. So let's click edit, and we can see that my mistake was fixed by this way. Let's add the other temperature to system, so I will click the add button again. I will type in temperature 2 as the system name. I will give it an address, a port. The service definition will be temperature. Its interface will be http://insecure-senml. Let's hit enter. Service URI will be temperature. Its end of validity will be the same as before. Service version will be 1, and let's click on the add button. We can see that a new entry has appeared here, which says that the temperature 1 service is provided by two systems. And if I group it by systems, we can see that we have two systems providing this given temperature service. Our next step is to create the controller which provides a control service, so I will click again on the add button. I will provide a system name which will be controller. Its address will be similar to the previous ones. I will give it port. Service definition, it will be control. Its interface will be http://json-insecure-none. Let's hit enter, and our service URI will be control. Its end of validity will be the same as the previous ones, and the service version will be 1. And I will click on the add button to add this new entry, and it added our new entry. Let me close this one up so we can see it better. Then that we have a controller system which provides our control service. Our next task is to create the report service which is provided by the controller. So in the service registry I will click the add button again, where I have to fill out this form again with the controller. I will use the autocomplete feature to fill out the data with our existing controller system. It provides a report service, so I will just name it report. It interface is mqtt-json-insecure-azure. Let's hit enter, and its service URI will be report. Its end of validity will be the same, and our service version is 1 as the others. So I will click the add button, and we can see that our controller system provides two services, the control service and the report service. Okay, everything. Oh, I made another typo, so let me just modify it and click save, and we could just easily rename it. Okay, our next step is to add intercloud authorization rules. So I will go to the authorization menu, and inside the authorization menu I will click on the intercloud icon. Here I have an add button where I have to select a consumer system. In our first case, the consumer system will be the controller. I will just type controller and the search finds it. And our consumed service will be the temperature service, which is provided by our temperature 1 system and the temperature 2 system. So I will click on the add button, and we've created a new intracloud authorization rule. Since our actuator does not exist yet, with the add system button we have the option to create it. So I will give it a name actuator, an address, a port, and let's leave the authentication info empty, and I will click add system. Okay. Now our task is to add the new rule. Let's click on the add button again. Our consumer system will be the actuator, which consumes this control service, and our provider system will be the controller. And let's click on the add, and we can see that we have this new rule created. Next we have to add the Azure Cloud to our neighborhood, so I will go into the gatekeeper menu where the neighborhood is located. I will click the add button. Here I am greeted with another form where I can provide all the necessary data for this cloud. This cloud's operator is Microsoft. Its cloud name will be Azure. Let's give it an address and a port. The gatekeeper service URI will be report, and let's leave the authentication info empty, and let's hit add, where I can see that we have successfully added this new cloud. Next we have to create intercloud authorization rules. So I'm going back to the authorization menu where I will click intercloud, and let's hit the add button. Here I have to provide the necessary data. Our cloud name was Azure. With our autocomplete feature we can fill out all the necessary data, and we have to provide service. Our service was report service, and the autocomplete feature helps us out again. Let's click add. Okay, we can see that we've successfully added a new intercloud authorization rule. Next we have to hardwire orchestration rules for the closed control loop. We can do this in the orchestration menu, and in the orchestration menu we have to use the orchestration store, and we have to click the add button again. Our consumer system will be controller, which consumes the temperature service, and its provider is the temperature 1. Let's give it a priority and the service URI of temperature. Let's click add, and we can see that we have successfully created a new rule. Let's click the add button again and repeat the same for the temperature 2 system. So our controller is the consumer again. It consumes the temperature service provided by temperature 2. Yes, priority 2, and the service URI of temperature. Let's click on the add button again, and after refreshing the page we can see that yes, we created a new orchestration rule. The biggest feature of the orchestration store is the drag and drop priority reorder. If I hit save button, we can see that the saving was successful, and now temperature 2 is our primary sensor and temperature 1 became the backup sensor. So next we have to create another rule where the actuator must consume the control service from the consumer. Let's click on the add button, and our consumer is the actuator, which consumes the control service provided by the controller, and its priority should be 1, and its service URI will be control. Let's click on the add button, and we can see that this new rule was added also. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask it on Slack, or if you run into any issues, don't forget to use the GitHub issue tracking systems. See you in the next video.